Hi everyone, it's Jennifer Terrell.
And I'm Michaela Stroud.
And we're your 4-H staff, and we're bringing you a fun little series called the Southwind Stockpot series. So we're going to talk about soups and different things you can make with your family together. So those are easy things that you can throw in every little ingredient and incorporate the whole family.
So be sure to grab your apron, pay attention to our instructions and the ingredients that you'll need, and you'll be able to make one of these fast, fun, and delicious and nutritious meals for you and your family. So for today, Jennifer is actually going to lead us with an awesome chili recipe, and I'm going to be behind the camera, so I will see you later.
All right, so for my chili, we are going to show you all the ingredients first. So the first thing is onions. You can finely chop them, just one onion. Sometimes depending on the size, you may just need to do half an onion, but we did one small onion today. Then we also have some hamburger here. So that is an important piece to chili. And then I like to brown my hamburger with an all-purpose type seasoning, and so it's got garlic, onion, black pepper, and sea salt. So I just like to have some extra flavors when I'm browning hamburger. And then we also, once we get the browning process done, we add some chili seasoning and tomato sauces. I use 2 tomato sauces, and then we also have red beans. So that is what is going into our chili today, and this is something very easy for kids to do. The pull tabs make it real nice and easy for them to help open cans. If you don't have those, a can opener is a fun thing for them to use as well. All right, so the first things first is we will get the onions going. So I will turn on the stove, and it depends. Sometimes I start with like medium, high heat. Just depends how quickly I'm trying to get things done. And so I will go on a medium heat today, just so that we can get rolling. And so while that's getting ready, I will get my onions in the pan. And if you are cooking for someone else, besides in your house, you'll want to make sure that you are wearing gloves and that you do have your hair pulled back. So, and probably an apron. But today I had to show off my nice little beef shirt. So, we will put the onions in. Okay, and then we will add the hamburger once we get the onions going in there. So I have just a little chopper that we can spread the onions out. All right, so now we're to the point where we're just gonna add the beef into the pot, or hamburger, however you wanna say it. I do have a pound here, so usually I'm just cooking for 2 and having leftovers. So you'll wanna make sure that if you are feeding more than 4 people in your family, you might wanna double the recipe or add some more beef to the pot. Okay, so I usually just take my little chopper and break up the hamburger and do this entire process until everything's brown and everything is evenly broke apart. Now it's time for our seasoning mix. I have all the hamburger laid out for a second so I can get the seasoning on. I can open the seasoning. And I just sprinkle a little bit across the top. I don't really measure this part. Maybe about, I don't know, a tablespoon maybe. Just depends on your individual flavoring. I just like to cover the top pretty evenly. Also, while you're cooking, you want to make sure that you have a towel or something that you can keep your hands clean or regularly wash them. So I just touched hamburger a minute ago, so washed the hands after I got going too. So making sure you're just keeping good hygiene and not cross-contaminating anything along the way. All right, so we have the hamburger broke up enough, and it is 90-10, so I don't have hardly any fat at all, like zero fat in there. So I don't have anything to drain. So we're just gonna move on to adding the other ingredients. So the next thing I add, and you might wanna watch your heat, your temperature, because at this point we don't really need it to be very warm anymore. So about medium-low heat is probably pretty good. And so then I add tomato sauce. So we'll pour that in. And I like to get every little piece of that out, so I'll use a spatula and get that out. And then I will add the second can of tomato sauce. And then I will add red beans, the entire can. I don't drain them or anything or rinse them. I just put it all in there. Okay, and then I will mix that together. So I'm going to use my chopper and I'm going to mix it together very carefully so I don't break the beans. So it's all mixed pretty well. So now this is when I add the seasoning for the chili. Okay, so it says about a tablespoon, and I do the same thing I do with my seasoning for the hamburger. I just sprinkle across until I've covered it evenly across the top, but it does suggest a tablespoon. Okay, so then we are ready to mix the ingredients together. Make sure everything's evenly distributed around, and then we will put the lid on and we'll let it simmer on a low heat, probably, depending what you're using, just a low heat. I'll probably put it on around 3 for this cooktop. So evenly distributed now, so I will put the lid on. Some other things that you could add when you're doing chili, you can add other beans. So Michaela said that at their house they like to add some pinto beans and even refried beans to make it a little thicker. So everyone does things a little differently. I also sometimes will add a can of Rotel, or diced tomatoes. Just depends what we're doing. What we're wanting to make with the chili, in just a bowl or have it on something else. So we'll cover some more of that stuff in a bit. Reached the 20-minute mark, and here is our chili. And there's my timer going off telling me that we've reached time. So it looks pretty good. You'll want to make sure that it sits for a little bit to cool just a little so that it doesn't burn you while you're eating it. So we'll let it sit for maybe 5 minutes. And then find out the different ways we want to make chili. You can make, and you probably should take it off the warm burner too. We'll turn that off. But there's different ways you can have it. You can have just a bowl, or you can have some corn chips and make a Frito chili pie, or you can have hot dogs and do chili dogs. There's all different kinds of neat things that you can do with chili, not just a bowl. So on warm days like today, even though we're planning this as a cool season type thing, we are able to do chili on anything, and it works out perfect for a group of people. So your family is an easy thing. As you can see, all the ingredients, kiddos can help you do that. So make sure that you're thinking of ways to cook with your family and eat with your family too. So that is all we have for this week, and we will catch you next time.